obviously we didn't play very well. I mean, that goes without saying. And obviously we played poorly on the day we really, needed to play much better. But give credit to Texas. They obviously were the aggressors from the beginning. I think they took great advantage of having the extra day of rest, and they pressured us quite a bit and forced us into some turnovers that we had kind of gotten away from in the last few games, and then compounded it by not making shots when we were actually open. So tough day, but I'm incredibly proud of these kids. They fought their butt off through a lot of adversity this year, whether it be injury or illness or guys having to be away from the team for different reasons. They continue to stick with each other and our staff. And I'm excited that we got more basketball ahead of us.
Thank you, Coach. Questions now for Kalib and John Michael. Okay, guys, on your left, on the front row.
Yeah, Kalib, what have you made of your past, few weeks? And you had a rough first half today, but then kind of exploded in the second one. Just what have you made of your past few weeks?
Honestly, I'll just say that, the last few weeks, I haven't really been the consistent version of myself for my teammates. And so I made a decision at halftime, and it was kind of too late, that I was just going to be more assertive. So I was, trying to demand the ball. I was trying to just be aggressive on the glass, do something for my teammates. And that's what my mindset was. So I had a conversation with my dad before the game, and he just told me, he said, go back to being that aggressive person like a month ago. And that's what I was like, okay, I need to be that.
Okay, we'll go to the extreme left on the front. You.
I'm sorry. Got my left and right mixed up.
Well, coach's left.
Kalib, you talked about that aggressiveness and needing to get back to it. In the conversation with your dad, kind of, what was the conversation like? I mean,
well, before every game, my dad would text me. He'll tell me something that he knows is going to probably happen, or he feels like will happen, and he was like, just go be aggressive. They're going to probably try to double team you or something like that, so go do that. So now I called him because I haven't really talked to him the last few days, and then he was like, you can't, even though, you just can't be, passive, relaxed, Kalib. You got to be aggressive, be assertive, go make a presence somehow, some way. He's told me that yesterday I did it on defense, but he was I tried to go do it on offense too and defense today, so that's what I tried to do.
Okay, now on the right, in the middle.
John Michael, what does Texas present defensively to you guys that kind of stymied you in the first matchup back in January and then again today?
They're just a real aggressive defensive team. They try and push you out as far as half court as possible, and they were able to do that to us the last couple of matchups. And they're pretty athletic as well. They're one of the teams that match us with us neck and neck athletically, and they were just able to get up in us and force us to make careless turnovers, and that's really what got us out of our offense in both matchups against them. So credit to their defense.
Okay, on the TV riser in the back.
All right, John Michael, Chris Williams, News 9, Oklahoma City. Do you guys feel like you've done enough to get into the big dance?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, we play in one of the best leagues in the country, and I believe with our resume, we put a lot of good wins up against a lot of good teams, and we've proven to be one of the best teams defensively in the country. There was a stretch where we were number 5 in the nation for a countless number of times, and we play hard, and for the committee, I believe if we make it to the tournament, we'll make it exciting. We're a team that doesn't give up, and our foundation is defense, and we'll be ready for anything if we get the bid to go to March Madness, and we'll try and make it as exciting as possible. And I believe, as a team, we've done enough, and just hopefully the committee gives us grace.
Okay, now let's go to coach's left.
John Michael, you laid out the case for why you guys should be there. The fact is now it's out of your hands. What are those feelings of going into the weekend and having to wait till Sunday, not knowing?
Yeah, it's tough because it's probably about a 3-day wait, and it's a lot of basketball left to play around the country, and we just have to sit and watch other teams play and just see how it goes across each league in the country. But like I said, I believe we've done enough. My team, my coaching staff, we believe we've done enough, and we're just going to sit, wait, be patient for our name to be called on Sunday.
Okay, in the far back on the right.
For both the players, Brian Brinkley, KFOR TV, you've played 20 games now against Big 12 teams, unanimously the toughest conference in the country. You're looking forward, whether it's NIT or NCAA, to play somebody that's not a Big 12 team, and because you've played this tough schedule, how prepared do you think you are to go deep in a tournament?
I believe we prepared, for anybody. Like you said, we have played in the best league in the country, so we've seen it all, and we won a lot of games against high-level teams, and we're prepared for anybody we play in any league and any tournament. So, yes, it helps playing in the Big 12 and playing 20 games in the Big 12. So, I believe we're prepared for anybody that comes against us.
Other questions for our student athletes? No? Okay, guys, we'll let you go back to the locker room. Could be more interviews back there.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Questions now for Coach Boynton. Coach, here on your left on the front row.
Yeah, Mike, similar things that they just got asked. Do you think that you guys have done enough to hear your name called on Sunday?
Yeah, I thought we did enough coming into the tournament, to be perfectly honest. This league presents challenges and I've been in several others that no other league does, and I think it's historically good this year. It's not just a good league, and it's not just a league that's better than the others, but it's far and away better than the other leagues. And with all due respect, there's really good basketball around the country, but to get eight wins in this conference, 3 on the road, 3 sweeps, to play the schedule we played overall is a testament to the character of these guys. And I think we certainly deserve inclusion into the event.
Okay, here on the left again.
Mike, I asked John Michael his feelings now that it's kind of out of your hands. You've been in this spot before. These guys haven't. How do you coach them away from basketball these next few days of this waiting game?
Well, you let them get away from it a little bit. And there's some of them that are going to watch a lot of it, and there's some of them that aren't going to watch any of it, to be perfectly honest. And both are okay. It's been a grind for 2.5 months going through this league. And if I didn't love basketball so much, I may escape it myself for a couple of days, but I won't. I watch every single game that I possibly can just because I love to watch basketball and I like hoops. And obviously we have a vested interest in what happens in some of these other conference tournaments. So I'll just encourage them to kind of, take a breath, relax. There's more basketball left for this team, one way or the other. I certainly hope it's in the best event in all of sports. And we look forward to getting together and find out where we'll go next on Sunday.
Okay, here on the aisle.
As someone who's coaching in this league, I'm sure you're sometimes kept up at night trying to think of how to beat all of these difficult and quite deep teams in the league. But why do you think that we have such a historically good Big 12 this year?
I think there's a variety of reasons. First of all, there's really good players. That's where it always starts. Keontae Johnson's story is just one of several of guys who have become, household names across the country. And his story is one of the best stories in the country, probably can't be told enough. And then obviously the program that Kansas has and that's always had, there's just no bad teams in our conference. So I think when you talk about the players, the Hall of Fame coaches, the national championship pedigree throughout the league, and then you go into every environment in our conference, and you don't expect a stale environment. You go on the road to Manhattan or Ames or Morgantown, and hopefully Stillwater's in that conversation for other people. You feel like it's a big-time deal. And I think all those elements coalesce to make it just truly a war, with all due respect to our war fighters. But it's truly a battle every single game. And a lot of them come down to one possession. A lot of them are really, kind of decided in the last 4 minutes. And I think that intensity, the consistency of the competitive energy you have to get through is what separates it from the rest of the conferences.
Swing to the left.
Coach over here. Bill Self was hospitalized last night and had a procedure. We don't know a lot of details about it, but just can you speak a little bit to like the stresses that all of this stuff puts on you guys as coaches and how important that is to kind of take care of your own health when you're trying to do all this?
Yeah, I mean, as coaches, we're probably we talk to young people about taking care of their bodies and their health all the time, and we probably don't live that as well ourselves. I'm probably one of the worst sleepers, and I'm not complaining at all. I don't, I don't wish for more sleep, but I do take a lot of pride in trying to stack up and be as good as the people I know that we have to compete against and giving our guys the best chance. So there's an element of pressure that comes with all of these jobs, the element of exposure that you have on decision making. And, my old coach, Eddie Fogler, told me when I got into this business to be sure you got thick skin, because you're just a make or miss and a couple of games away from, being determined whether you're a good coach or bad coach. And oftentimes it's really determined by when the ball's in the air, what happens when it either goes through the net or hits and bounces off. But the nature of it is we're really competitive people, and we all got in this to help young folks. And so we're thinking and praying for Coach Self. He's an Oklahoma State guy. And obviously our thoughts are with him and his wife and his family. And we certainly hope he makes a full recovery and gets back on the court coaching those guys as soon as he can safely. But there's no doubt that there's some of the things that add to, coaches not having great health outside of their physical, right? The mental health, and then certainly sometimes even the physical. So we're thinking of them, but we also have a great league of coaches who support one another, and I think that helps.
We're about out of time. We'll take 2 more questions in the back. You have a question?
Brian Brinkley, KFOR TV. Coach, how excited are you to play somebody that's not in the Big 12? You talked about looking forward to playing more games, and I'm sure you're looking forward to playing a non-Big 12 team.
Yeah, I think everybody, when they leave here, is going to be excited that their next game is going to be against somebody that's not been on the schedule for the last 2.5 months. But I'm more excited about what I have an opportunity to do with these kids, which is practice some more, continue to be encouraged by them, to see them come together and fight through all the adversity that they are able to. And then obviously whoever we play next, I look forward to having an opportunity to prepare for them and knowing that it's not going to be Bill Self or Bob Huggins, and they're not going to know every single play we run. At least I don't think they will. Won't be a negative at all.
Final question here on the extreme left.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma. Mike, you got Tyreek nicked up tonight. Chris, last night. Don't have Avery. Muse's in, hit and miss. What is your health status or your readiness to be close to competitive, no matter where you end up next week?
Well, I definitely didn't want to lose today, so I want to make that clear. But that we may have a chance to get some guys some rest, to get some rehab, to kind of get another diagnosis on Avery, see where he is, if he's able to play wherever we are next week. Those are some positives that could come out of this. Get home, get off our feet, kind of get our minds off basketball for a couple of days, and then regroup. And I don't feel like any of it's major, obviously, other than Avery. We'll see with Chris when we get back and get an MRI on his knee. And obviously we'll take precaution to make sure he's as healthy as he can before he plays again. But, I know I have a bunch of guys that still want to play. So whoever we have left, it may be 8, it may be 7, we're going to try to give them the best chance to have, a successful finish to their season this year.
Played a game today against a well-coached team. Mike's teams always play extremely hard on defense, one of the better defensive teams in the country. Thought we did a really good job of taking care of the basketball and attacking on our terms. Thought we did a great job of rebounding, especially early in the game as well. I thought our guys really had a great defensive effort themselves as well. So, again, another really hard-fought win in the Big 12, but a lot of respect for our opponent.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.